Now look at this. We've got the city, we've got the fire and rescue, we've got the city again, we've got VPD. And look at what they're doing. Now there's been somebody wailing away back here. I can't tell where. But the fact is that the city has come in and they're finally removing these tents after about 2 years of them being here. Due to the homeless situation in Vancouver, this is where people have been camping out. They've got no choice. They put tents up in front of buildings that aren't being used, and the police tear them down off the streets. So they got to set up here, and it's been civil. It hasn't been much problems, but I mean, like, now they're coming in and stealing from the very poor who have no home and have just had to set up something to make shift while they wait for BC housing. And here the city, why is fire and rescue involved in this? Why isn't that a police squad car? I don't understand this. Alright, we have VPD here talking to the guy, distracting him from his home being ripped down by the city. It's bullshit. Oh, they just found a pipe of some kind, so they put it down on the cement and they crushed it. Oh yeah, you were getting high? You were using this place to get high? Well, let's take all your drugs away so that you do start going ape shit so that we can put you in jail. Alright, here's what I like to see. There's a photographer on the scene taking pictures. And he doesn't give a hoot if they see him or not. He has no markings on his bag or anything else like that, but he's got a pretty nifty camera. It's a nice one. Handing out some free food here. Alright, so I have been talking to some of the people around the park and everything while all this is going on. I have heard reports of one guy losing about $300 worth of copper to the city workers, not respecting the fact that, you know, that's his income. Like other things we've seen on Hastings Street and things like that, we're seeing, you know, we are seeing on one side they are kind of respecting their houses, but on the other side, you know, they're again taking their livelihoods and leaving them destitute, which seems to be a repeating pattern. I mean, it's one thing to get rid of the garbage, it's one thing to get rid of the trash, it's another thing to take $300 worth of a guy's copper that he scrimped and scraped for a couple weeks just so that, you know, he didn't have to get other people to pay for his habits. Like, I'd like to hear from your position exactly what's going on here. Like the last time I saw these guys coming around, they were throwing everybody's tents away and stuff like that. By the way, introduce yourself, please.
Oh, I'm Dave Dixon.
You're a retired VPD?
Retired Vancouver police constable.
Okay, and you used to walk the beat around here?
Yeah, for 28 years.
Because everybody here seems to know you.
I've known them since they're 6 and 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I left the police, I didn't want to leave the area because of that. I put an application in for SkyTrain, the transit police, but when the guy called me, I told him, I said, I apologize. I said, I can't leave down here. So I work 2 nights a week at a local community center. I'm an outreach worker for 5 days a week, the rest of the time.
Awesome. And
I still love the area. As frustrating and challenging as it is,
How do you feel about what they're doing here?
Well, I don't know. They've been coming in, I think, for close to 6 months. Just about 5 days a week, and it still looks pretty much the same. All I think they're trying to do is maintain it, and that's what they do. And they're taking some of the stuff away. They're taking some of the garbage and trying to keep it under control. So, but I'm sure they're as frustrated as anybody.
Okay, I was under the misconception that they were because I heard from the local community that they were actually coming in to take the tents away today.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not that I know of, and that gets around and gets out there. And last week I think they said the same thing, but they're not.
But they're just helping clean up and make sure the place is safe. And
yeah, unfortunately, like a lot of the people down here, they're hoarders, so they collect all sorts of stuff.
yeah,
And so if they just let them go ahead and do that, you'd have a mountain of garbage here.
yeah, and a major fire
so
hazard, which is why the fire people are here. Okay.
I think they try and keep it under control. They remove
All right.
as much as they can, as the people will allow.
Well, I guess I still have a memory of the Occupy movement down at the Vancouver Art Gallery, where I saw this exact same thing happening, and they did take all the tents down and take it all away. And so, I mean, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't happening again.
The judge's ruling in Victoria a couple of years back said that if the people are homeless and there's no shelter beds, that they can't remove them from the parks over there. So that sort of stands over here too.
Oh wow, I didn't hear about that ruling.
Yeah, that's
from what I understood, the parks were okay from like 9 p.m. until 7 a.m., but you had to pack up and leave during the day. That was a Supreme Court ruling, from what I understand.
It's supposed to be closed at 10 o'clock at night until 6 in the morning, but it says if there's no shelter beds, the judge ruled that you can't remove them from in their tents or take their housing.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, do you think that would also apply to like vehicle dwellers who park in the parks overnight? Do you think?
It's a different thing because you've actually got a home. Because if you're living in a camper or a trailer, that's your home for the time being.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of them down in Alexander, and the cities try to combat it by put up signs saying no parking from 10 at night till 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
I've never seen them before.
but I mean, like, I've been ticketed for it myself. I'm a vehicle dweller. I've lived in an RV for 3 years of my life, and like, say out in Jericho Beach, out Spanish Banks Way, I've been ticketed for parking overnight in the parking lots. Because they have the signs up, but at the same time they call it camping, and if it's called camping, then aren't I allowed to camp in the park from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m.? So doesn't that supersede the sign, the bylaw?
Really. The Parks Board's got rules and regulations, so that's why. But the thing is, I don't think that anybody's ever enforced those tickets.
Well,
if you don't pay it, I don't think any judge I know of is going to send anybody to jail.
Well, I did take the tickets to court. Unfortunately, the day of court, I completely forgot because I was doing a temp job, a week-long temp job out in Richmond. And so I was in Richmond on the day that I was supposed to appear in court. So I think I actually have to pay those tickets. But
yeah, I don't know. The bylaw, jaywalking tickets, for example, they don't hand them out anymore because nobody pays them.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay them, the judges aren't going to send you to jail.
Yeah.
You're talking about a person that's got fixed income on disability or whatever. He doesn't have the money to pay for a ticket.
I'm thinking the parking tickets thing, if they were to build up and build up and build up for a vehicle dweller, it would be kind of legitimate grounds for if they were like, making a nuisance of themselves or piling up garbage, it would be legitimate for the city to come in and kind of remove the vehicle and the garbage
and stuff. If you're making a nuisance and collecting garbage, then it gives the judge will grant an order to go in and remove this stuff. But they still won't. They're not going to pay $500 worth of tickets if you're on welfare.
Yeah. All right.
So it's a difficult situation, and I'm sure the police are frustrated too.
It is.
They're mandated to do this. I mean, there could be other things going on.
I mean, the fact is, I'm a working member. I'm a working citizen of the city. I do have a job and work for the most part. But I mean, I actually choose to live in an RV because I feel like that $1,000 or $1,200 a month I'd be spending on rent, I can be putting back into the local economy instead.
No, for sure.
And I mean, with the housing crisis going on, I feel like I'm relieving myself of that situation, or relieving the city of at least one person's situation of that.
No, I agree.
But then I've also experienced over the 3 years all sorts of I don't know, harassment, so to speak, to say move on. Oh. This is a Carnegie outreach worker.
Well, I mean, the trick is to not be camping, move your vehicle every day.
Yeah, that's
And
what
then
I've.
they can't give you.
That's
tickets
what
for
I've
camping.
evolved.
And don't
That's what I've
admit that
started
you're
doing.
camping. Just no, I'm just parked here
Yeah,
for the day, just taking
Yeah.
a break.
yeah,
So
and then
there's ways
there
around
are also places where it's more lenient, and there's places where the neighbors will call in and be like, "There's a stranger parked outside the door." So, so yeah, I've learned over the years that there are places to park and there are places not to
I've got
park.
lots of guys who've been out there for years in their vehicles, and they move it every day. And, and that's the key. And don't collect garbage or
Yeah.
waste around the vehicle.
Yeah, mainly that I've seen that as the biggest problem with the RV dwellers is the garbage collecting, amassing around the vehicle.
It's unfortunate, but there's a group of people that have no respect for anything and they spoil it. And it's the same as the police. I mean,
Yeah.
there's good police and bad police.
Yeah, exactly.
Police, I mean, there was bad police that made me look bad. So I think every sort of group of people, or organizations has the same problem. Doctors, lawyers. You've got people that are good at their job and they're passionate and care about it, and then you got people that don't. Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see that they're respecting at least, basic living needs of human beings.
Yeah, no, they
I
have
mean,
for the most part. The
that's-
police are only here to stand by. While the
Yeah.
city crews actually.
Well, yeah, I've seen a couple incidences where a guy's been a little bit aggressive in terms of like, don't take my stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But like you said, there is hoarding going on,
Yeah.
and that's extremely evident as well.
Yeah, no, it's you. I mean, the housing is a tough one. Hey, Red. How you doing, bro?
All right, well, thank you very much
Nice
for
to
your
meet you.
time. It's nice to meet you.
Anytime, I'm around here all the time.
All right.